Nikola Jokic and Victor Wembanyama just faced off. It wasn't the NBA Finals, it wasn't even a game that had any influence on the upcoming Olympics, but it did have an influence on people watching, because you had the greatest big man of this generation versus the greatest big man of the next generation. And as great as Wemby is, and there will be plenty of times where he gets the better of Jokic, like we saw at the end of last year, in this very moment, Nikola Jokic is still the king of the basketball world, and it seems as though no team or player is going to change that, because in a matchup against one of the favorites at the Olympics, Jokic was dominant, putting up 20 points and 12 boards against the twin towers of Rudy Gobert and Victor Wembanyama. And if you want any idea as to why Nikola Jokic is so great, well, I could list you 100 reasons, including making plays like this.
Jokic over RBC to beat the shot clock.
And we all know where we've seen him make a shot like that before, but one of the biggest reasons he's so great is his ability to adapt to any matchup he is faced with. I don't really need to tell you guys what Victor Wembanyama can do. He is a 7'4", maybe even 7'5" shot blocking alien who at 20 years old is already one of the greatest shot blockers we have ever seen. So Nikola Jokic had to change his style of play as a result, and what we saw was him consistently attack the body of Wemby, even to the point where he fouled out of the game as a result, on a questionable foul, but it was because of the consistent physicality that he was playing with. Look at him on this play bring the ball up the floor. He turns his back to Wemby, keeping an eye on the help defense before it's that quick dribble, getting into the body of Wemby, drawing the foul, and dropping it in. Or in this play, which is a Jokic staple, he gets the ball on the right wing with his back to the basket, and he loves to lean on the defender before spinning. Wemby does a good job at cutting off the initial spin, but watch him just bully him under the rim before the step through and just a casual reverse layup through contact from your 7-footer. Why not? It wasn't just the physicality either. He knows that Wemby, despite his talent, is still young and inexperienced, which means he can be a bit reactionary defensively. So look at him here, just use a couple of pump fakes to get him off his feet before finishing softly. Another aspect of Jokic's game that really stood out was his rebounding. Sometimes rebounding gets overlooked at the center position because it's just kind of expected of them to rebound, but there is a very big difference between the best rebounders in the NBA, average rebounders, and players who can't rebound at all. Sorry, Jaren Jackson Jr., but that's why you can't play the center position. Jokic is one of the best in the world, and again, it's a combination of physicality and intelligence. Look here, the moment the ball gets swung out to the wing, Jokic is engaged Batum, sealing him out, and it's also how quick and soft his hands are to catch the ball with no bobble before then laying it in, which wasn't even his most impressive offensive board from the game. Look at this play where Jokic is wrestling with Wemby. He uses one hand to tap the ball out in front before picking it up, and in one motion it's a soft hook shot. It looks like a regular play, but Jokic's awareness of where he is on the floor relative to the basket or where his teammates or the defenders are is his biggest superpower. For all the skill he has, there is not a single possession where he doesn't have a full understanding of what is happening on the floor, even on split-second offensive rebounds like that. However, getting back to why Jokic is so great, he has a game plan for every single opponent he comes up against. Sure, he might say in the press conference that he just goes out there and play, which he does, but it's according to who his opponent is. If you think back to Jokic's last marquee game for Serbia, it was against Giannis and Greece. And like Wemby, we all know Giannis is a supremely talented defensive player with length and size to alter shots from all over the floor. But like Wemby, he doesn't have the same mass as Jokic does. He's not as used to guarding centers in the post, so he took advantage of that. Look at him here using his physicality to create that initial advantage on the entry pass. And once he's got you in a position where you can't block his shot, no one in NBA history has better touch. Or here where it's the classic Jokic back down, just bruising his way to the rim, which he is able to do because teams are so petrified of his passing. Otherwise, in that situation, a lot of the times help will come to force the big man to make a decision, but it's really a lose-lose situation because it's a contested hook shot for Jokic, which is automatic, or it's a wide open three for a team that shoots pretty well. Now, I'm sure a lot of people would respond to this by saying, of course Jokic is going to bully guys like Wemby and Giannis. He's a massive center, and those those guys are built more like forwards. But the thing is with Jokic, you can't just put some slow, heavy-footed big man on him either, because whilst people want you to believe he is a lumbering 7-footer, he is one of the most agile and coordinated bigs in the league. And when I say he's agile, the difference between him and, let's say, Brook Lopez is that he can do things at full speed that other bigs just aren't capable of doing. So it's not that he's quicker than every other big, but he can maintain his skill level at a top speed, which almost no other big can do. In addition to that, he moves like a guard off the ball a lot of the time. Just take this play for example against Rudy Gobert. He brings him out to the 3-point line, and look at the little hesitation to get by him, and then, well, that's an aspect of Jokic that no one else in the league is capable of, but that initial move set up the opportunity to make that pass. A play like this might be a better example, where he has the ball near the 3-point line, he gives it up to Green and immediately recognizes the space, darting around Gobert, and again, it's that ability at speed to make that layup. And I will always maintain that this is the most underrated part of Nikola Jokic's game. People like Stephen A. Smith have literally called him a tub of lard.
This dude, and I mean this affectionately, just some big tub of lard. I mean, a brother can't jump onto a curb for crying out loud. Listen, I understand that this big tub of lard that can't jump onto a curb, slow as a snail, can't jump onto a curb, big tub of lard.
And it's not about being offended at Stephen A. Smith for saying that, which you can be if you want, but it's just a complete lack of understanding for what you are watching, because you are unable to see past his unassuming physical appearance to recognize that he moves in ways that players in the NBA who have 8-packs or 5% body fat can't move because of his skill and coordination. There are just countless examples of this, like here where he has the ball on the block against Kyle Anderson. He offloads it when the double comes, and it's that quick decision to attack the space, catching Anderson sleeping, and who else is making those kind of shots? Those are the kind of shots that when you're a Lakers fan and the first time you watch Nikola Jokic is in the NBA playoffs, so you think that it's a fluke. You think that he won't continue making shots like that. But for all of us who have watched him for years, it's more surprising when a shot like that doesn't go in as opposed to the other way around. Don't ask how Nikola Jokic makes all of those shots, because I don't even think he himself could give you the answer. But like Michael Jordan used to fly through the air and finish in acrobatic ways, Nikola Jokic will hit you with 100 different variations of floaters and hook shots, and just every single one of them seems to go in. Now, Nikola Jokic has a tall task ahead of him with the Avengers looming, but who better than the NBA's Thanos to beat the Avengers? That was a little bit corny, but anyways, if you did make it all the way to the end of the video and want to see more content like this all throughout the Olympics and just going forward, you could subscribe. It's free. Either way, have a great day. Bye.